show. Wait a minute, Joe McElderry joins me. Hi, Joe.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well. You're so Christmassy. You bring us Christmas with your classic Christmas album.
I do.
Which is out now. I mean, this is a kind of follow-on from the last album you did,
yes,
which was just classics.
Yeah.
And, I mean, was that kind of a weird to turn your... do you feel like you've turned your back on pop now?
I think doing the show, Pop Star Rock Star, in the summer, I kind of didn't really see it having any effect on my career. I thought it would be a fun thing to take part in. People would be like, oh, that was fun. And then that would be it. And I would kind of go off and carry on doing what I was doing before.
Yeah.
But people went crazy for the opera. And I was turning up in these shows with like all my kind of pop stuff. And people were like chanting for us to sing Let's Doma. And I was like, I'm sorry, I don't have the backing track. And it wasn't until I kind of started working with Decca that we kind of thought it would be a good idea to touch a bit on it and kind of put my own stamp on it.
Yeah.
But I kind of...
There's a huge market out there for that stuff.
Yeah, totally. And also, as well as that, there's a huge market, but I'm also introducing it to kind of fans that were there with the pop stuff. So there's like young people that wouldn't normally listen to Let's Doma and Time to Say Goodbye are now here on that as well. So it's been really exciting to bring it to different people.
And just before we went during the record, we were talking about your tour. So you did a 20-day tour.
Yes, in November.
And that was a mix of bit of pop, bit of classics, but also you did do arias and stuff like that.
Well, we called the tour the Classic Tour because it was right around the time of the album. But I knew that if I went out and sang just the classic album, everybody would go, he didn't do any of that, he didn't, So I had to give them the whole story, I suppose, of what, from winning the show, going right the way through. So the show was literally 40 minutes of pop and 40 minutes of like the big ballad, opera songs, everything. So I used to finish on this really big dance song, and I would be on stage getting into a quick change, like hardly being able to breathe, and then I would come out and sing like Time to Say Goodbye, like with hardly any breath. It was very strange, but it did me voice wonders, but at the same time my voice was like, what are you doing? Like, seriously?
That sounds mad.
It was pretty exhausting. I was exhausted by the end of it, just vocally. But with the techniques you learn with opera, they're trained to sing for 3 hours on stage, so every time I got to that part of the show it was easy, because I was using all the right muscles and I didn't really have to strain it at all.
Now listen, obviously X Factor is when we all met you, and it was so sweet. I saw you out in the corridor talking to Little Mix. I mean, that must be such an exclusive club, because you all know how weird it is and what it is.
Well, I think for them as well, though, they're still in that... I remember when I did the first week of promo, they're in that... It's the best and worst week you'll ever do of work, I think, surrounding this job. Because you're so busy and you just haven't got a clue what's going on. And I could see it, and I know Jade really well, and I could see in her eyes, she was like, where am I? Like, what am I doing? And it's a really weird week. But
because you were properly good friends with Jade.
Yeah, we used to sing together in pubs and clubs together. We used to do duets and like, we're really good friends. So it was quite surreal watching her win the show, because she kind of watched me win it 2 years ago. It was weird, and that was the first time I'd seen her.
Oh, really?
I'd seen her just before she went away. We had a quick catch up, and I was like, good luck, I hope it all goes well. And she was like, well, we'll probably go out the first week because we're a group. They didn't think that they were going to do well. But they've done amazing. It's incredible.
Okay, you've been there. If you could give them, what's the #1 bit of advice you would give them?
I think you can never get complacent. I think a lot of people kind of think that the X Factor, he's won the X Factor, he's a superstar now, that's it. And there's an expectation that you've just got to be up there constantly. You've got to work really hard, and you have to prove yourself constantly. And I think the one thing I would say to them is just never be complacent. Be appreciative of everything and enjoy the success you're having. But at the same time, always kind of strive to do better and better, and don't think, oh, I've made it now, because you never have.
And listen, I think you've proved that, because you are working really hard. You did that pop album, which was excellent, but it didn't sound as well as I'm sure you hoped. I mean, the singles didn't go quite as well as you wanted them to do.
But to be honest, I was really proud of it and really proud of my achievement.
It's funny, because I was thinking when you were coming here, I must tell Jim Calvary how much I liked his album. And then I thought, maybe some old 48-year-old man liking his album is where it went wrong. I should have hated it.
But it was, I think it was that kind of expectation. People just expect everything to go to #1. Within reason, it sold pretty well, and it got a good chart position, but because it didn't get #1, everybody was like, oh, well, that was a flop. And I was really proud of it, but I think, since then...
Well, you see the same thing happening with Matt Cardle. Matt Cardle didn't get #1.
Yeah, he's still selling albums.
And yet he's sort of been, people
It's not what... The music industry is so different now, you know. I think X Factor's kind of moved on a lot since then, and you don't have to have a number one to be successful.
And the split with Psycho, how brutal was that?
It was made out to be so much worse than it was. I mean,
boring.
I know, it was really... I hate to bring it, but it was... The hands down being at home depressed, and I was shopping in Ulster, so my career was over. It was like, what, so you can't go shopping now? You know, like,
at least you're shopping.
Still have to eat.
We're shoplifting.
But no, it was fine. I kind of just... I realised the opportunity I had, and I just used it, and off I went and carried on.
Yeah, and I'd like to say, I think you're following your advice. You're working hard.
Yeah.
You're kind of going, okay, I'll do this now, and you've tapped in very cleverly. You've tapped into this market. That it's clever. You'll work for a long time.
Well, we shall see.
I know. And also because you will work because you've got the voice.
Yeah, it goes a long way. You would think, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Not everyone can sing like you can sing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so
thank you very much.
Talking of which, we've got the title track of Lana Del Rey's new album.
Okay.
This is out on January 23rd. Now, I really like... Did you like video games?
Yes.
See, I like video games. I feel this is a voice you might get tired of. Do you think?